The wind howled through the narrow alleyways of Dhaka as Raina clutched her phone, staring at the wedding photos that flooded her screen. Her fingers trembled, scrolling through the images. There he was, Ayan, the man she had loved with every fibre of her being, standing beside another woman, draped in wedding attire, smiling as if nothing had ever existed between them. Her heart pounded, each beat a painful reminder of the betrayal that shattered her world. She had trusted him, believed in his words, and now all of it felt like an illusion, a cruel game played by the man who had promised her forever. But Raina was not one to crumble. A fire ignited within her, a burning desire for truth, for justice, for revenge. 2 years ago, Ayan had walked into Raina's life like a beautiful dream. He was charming, kind, and had a way of making her feel like she was the only woman in the world. Late-night conversations, stolen moments, whispered promises. They had built a love story that felt invincible. Also, she thought. Looking back, the signs were there. The missed calls, the unexplained disappearances, the hesitation in his eyes whenever she spoke of marriage. But love had blinded her, and she had ignored every red flag. Now, standing in the middle of the bustling city, she felt like a fool. Raina wasn't ready to let go without answers. She needed to know why. Why had he pretended? Why had he lied? And most importantly, who was the woman he had married? With a determined heart, she began her search. Social media, mutual friends, even an old message thread. She pieced together fragments of the truth. The woman's name was Tara. But something wasn't right. Tara wasn't just a random girl. She was connected to Ayan's family in ways Raina hadn't anticipated. Whispers of a business deal, family pressure, and an arranged marriage surfaced. But was it really just that? Or was there something more sinister lurking beneath the surface? One evening, under the dim glow of a streetlight, Raina confronted Ayan. She had tracked him down outside his new apartment, where he now lived with his wife. He looked startled, guilt flashing across his face. "Raina, you shouldn't be here." She stepped closer, her voice cold. "I deserve the truth, Ayan. Was any of it real, or was I just a pawn in your game?" He sighed, rubbing his temples. "I didn't have a choice." "That's a lie," she shot back. "You always had a choice." For the first time, she saw fear in his eyes. Not fear of her, but fear of something much bigger. Then he whispered something that sent a chill down her spine. "They would have killed you, Raina." It wasn't just about love. It wasn't just about betrayal. Ayan's marriage was a part of a much bigger plot, one that involved powerful people, dangerous secrets, and a debt his family owed to Tara's father. If he had chosen Raina, she wouldn't be standing there that night. She would be buried 6 feet under. Her heart clenched. Love had brought her pain, but now it had brought her to the edge of something much darker. She had a choice to make: walk away and heal, or dive deeper and uncover the truth behind Ayan's entrapment. And Raina was never one to walk away. With a final glance at Ayan, she turned and disappeared into the night. The game was far from over, and this time she wasn't playing by anyone else's rules. Raina walked away that night, but her mind was anything but at peace. Ayan's words echoed in her ears. "They would have killed you, Raina. Who were they? And how far did this conspiracy go?" She had spent 2 years believing Ayan had simply used her, discarded her for another woman. But now she realized the truth was far more twisted than she could have ever imagined. Determined to uncover the real story, she knew she had only one option. She had to get close to Tara. The next morning, Raina did what she never thought she'd do. She sent a friend request to Tara on social media. To her surprise, Tara accepted within minutes. Interesting. Raina scrolled through her profile. Tara seemed normal, happy even. But something about her photos felt staged, too perfect. And then she saw it. an invitation. A charity gala hosted by Tara's father, Mr. Riaz Ahmed, one of the most influential businessmen in the city. Raina knew this was her chance. If she wanted answers, she had to step into the lion's den. Dressed in an elegant black gown, Raina walked into the grand ballroom of the five-star hotel, her heart pounding. Chandeliers sparkled above, and well-dressed guests murmured in hushed conversations. She spotted Ayan across the room. He stiffened the moment he saw her, his eyes filled with warning, but Raina ignored him. She had come for answers. Tara, unaware of the storm brewing, approached her with a warm smile. "Raina, right? Ayan mentioned you were an old friend." Raina forced a polite smile. "Yes, we go way back." As the evening progressed, Raina kept her composure, carefully observing Tara and her family. Mr. Riaz Ahmed was a powerful man, his presence commanding. But there was something else, a hidden tension beneath the surface. Then something strange happened. A waiter slipped a note into her hand as he passed by. "Meet me in the garden, you're in danger." Heart racing, Raina made her way to the secluded garden. The cold night air sent a shiver down her spine. A shadow emerged from behind the trees. It was Ayan. "You need to leave, Raina," he said urgently. "You don't know what you've stepped into." She glared at him. "Then tell me the truth, Ayan. What is this really about?" He hesitated, then finally spoke. Tara's father is not just a businessman. He runs one of the most dangerous underground syndicates in the country. Marrying Tara wasn't a choice. It was a contract. Raina's breath hitched. "And me?" Ayan's eyes darkened. "You were a threat to their plans. If I had chosen you, they would have eliminated you." A chill ran down her spine. The betrayal she had felt before seemed insignificant compared to this new, horrifying reality. Before she could respond, a rustling noise came from the bushes. Someone was watching them. Ayan tensed. "They know you're here." Suddenly, headlights flashed from the driveway. Black SUVs rolled in, their presence suffocating. "Run, Raina," Ayan whispered. "Run, and don't look back." Raina didn't hesitate. She turned and bolted through the dark pathways, her heels clicking against the pavement. The sound of footsteps followed her, fast, relentless. She ducked behind a marble fountain, holding her breath. A voice called out, sharp and cold, "Find her!" Raina knew she had only moments before they did. Taking a deep breath, she reached for her phone and dialed the only person who could help her now. "Detective Hassan," she whispered. "I have information on Riaz Ahmed, but first I need a way out." The line went silent for a moment. Then, "Stay where you are, I'm coming." Raina knew one thing for certain. This was no longer just about a broken heart. She had stumbled upon a world of crime, deceit, and power, and now she was a target. Raina pressed herself against the cold stone of the fountain, her breath shallow. The voices were getting closer. She could hear the crunch of boots on gravel, the sound of men searching for her. "Where is she?" one of them barked. She clenched her fists. This wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about exposing the truth. Somewhere in the distance, sirens wailed. Detective Hassan was on his way. But would he make it in time? She knew she had only seconds. As the footsteps neared, she spotted an open service door leading into the hotel's kitchen. Without hesitation, she darted toward it. A shout rang out behind her. "There! Stop her!" Adrenaline surged through her veins as she sprinted inside, weaving through startled chefs and waiters. Hot oil sizzled, the scent of spices filled the air, but she had no time to think, only to run. A door at the far end led to the parking lot. She pushed through it, emerging into the cool night air. A black car screeched to a stop in front of her. The driver's window rolled down. "Get in!" It was Detective Hassan. Without a second thought, Raina yanked the door open and threw herself inside. The moment she shut it, the car sped off. Gunshots rang out behind them, bullets ricocheting off the pavement. She gasped. "They're trying to kill me!" Hassan's jaw tightened. They won't stop now, Raina. You've seen too much. As the city lights blurred past, Raina tried to steady her thoughts. Ayaan told me Riaz Ahmed is running something big, she said. Something dangerous. Hassan nodded. He's not just a businessman. He controls one of the largest money laundering and trafficking networks in the country. But we've never had solid proof. Raina hesitated. I think I know where to find it. Hassan glanced at her. Where? She swallowed hard. Ayaan's house. He said his marriage to Tara was a contract. If that's true, there must be documents, something linking Riaz to his crimes. Hassan exhaled. That's risky, Raina. She met his gaze. So is running for my life. An hour later, they parked a few blocks away from Ayaan's residence. It was a high-security estate, but Raina knew the layout. We need to be fast, Hassan said, his hand on his gun. They slipped through the shadows, moving toward the back entrance. Raina's heart pounded as she pressed the security code Ayaan had once given her. The door clicked open. Inside, the house was eerily silent. They moved quickly, searching his office. Raina yanked open drawers, flipped through files. Nothing. Then she noticed a locked cabinet. Help me, she whispered. Hassan used his lock-picking skills, and within seconds, the cabinet clicked open. Inside was a folder marked Confidential. Raina's hands shook as she flipped through it. Bank transactions, offshore accounts, shipments, proof of illegal activities all tied to Riaz Ahmed. This is it, she whispered. But before they could move, a cold voice echoed from the doorway. Well, I was wondering when you'd show up. Raina turned, and her blood ran cold. It was Ayaan, and he was holding a gun. She stared at him, her heart breaking all over again. Ayaan! His face was unreadable. You shouldn't have come here, Raina. Hassan reached for his gun, but Ayaan aimed his weapon at him. Don't! Raina's mind raced. Was he going to kill them? Had he been lying all along? Or was there still a part of him that loved her? She took a slow step forward. Ayaan, you don't have to do this. For a moment, his grip on the gun faltered, but then another voice came from behind him. She's right, Ayaan. A figure stepped out of the shadows, Tara, and she was pointing a gun at Ayaan. Raina's breath caught. What is going on? Tara's lips curled into a smirk. Let's just say, my father isn't the only one playing this game. Raina's world tilted. Had they been after the wrong person all along? Had Tara been the real mastermind? And now, standing between Ayaan and Tara, caught in a deadly game of betrayal, Raina realized one thing. Raina stood frozen between Ayaan and Tara, her mind reeling. The pieces of the puzzle had finally fallen into place, but the picture it formed was far more sinister than she had ever imagined. Tara wasn't just a victim in this game. She was a player, perhaps the most dangerous one. Ayaan's gun wavered between Raina and Hassan, but it was Tara who held the real power now. Her smirk was cold, calculating. You really thought my father was the mastermind, she said, shaking her head. He's just an old man holding on to an empire he no longer controls. Raina's breath hitched. Then who does? Tara tilted her head. Me. Silence hung in the air, thick and suffocating. Ayaan's hands trembled. Tara, stop this. She laughed, a hollow, empty sound. You were always weak, Ayaan. That's why my father never trusted you. That's why I never trusted you. Raina's mind raced. If Tara was the real mastermind, then exposing Riaz Ahmed wouldn't be enough. She had to bring Tara down too, and she had to do it now. Hassan subtly reached for his gun, but Tara caught the movement. She aimed directly at him. She tisked. Drop it, detective. Hassan hesitated, then slowly let his gun fall to the floor. Raina's heart pounded. They were out of options, unless... She glanced at Ayaan. His face was unreadable, torn between duty and betrayal. Then she took a risk. Ayaan, she said softly, This is your last chance to do the right thing." His jaw clenched. Tara scoffed. "Oh, don't tell me you still love her," she mocked. "You gave that up the day you chose survival over her." Ayan exhaled sharply. "Maybe I did." Then, in a blink, he turned and fired. Tara's eyes widened in shock as the bullet struck her shoulder. She staggered, her gun slipping from her grip and clattering to the floor. Hassan reacted instantly, kicking the weapon away and pinning her down. "You're under arrest, Tara Ahmed," she gasped, blood seeping through her dress, but her expression remained defiant. "You think this ends with me?" she hissed. "You have no idea how deep this goes." Raina stepped forward, her voice steady. "Maybe not, but it ends with you tonight." The sound of sirens filled the air as police stormed in, securing the crime scene. Hassan handed over the documents Raina had found, solid evidence that would dismantle Riaz Ahmed's empire, an empire that had been secretly controlled by his own daughter. It was over. As the dust settled, Raina turned to Ayan. He looked exhausted, his shoulders heavy with the weight of his choices. "You saved my life," she said quietly. He gave a sad smile. "Too late, though, isn't it?" Raina searched his eyes, the same eyes she had once trusted blindly. There was still love there, buried beneath regret and guilt. But some wounds could never be healed. She exhaled. "I think it's time we both move on." Ayan nodded, understanding. "Take care, Raina." With that, he walked away, disappearing into the crowd of officers. Raina watched him go, her heart lighter than it had been in a long time. She had lost love. She had faced betrayal. But in the end, she had found something far greater, herself. As the first light of dawn broke over the city, she knew one thing for certain. This was not the end. This was a new beginning.